Hello there, heart-centered people. This is Steve Mattis with Actual Infinity, and today I want to talk about how do you make some of the more mundane tasks in business or life better, more fun, easier. That's what I want to talk about. And if you are a small business owner and you want more ease in your business or life in general, and you want your heart to lead the way, you are in the right spot. So let's get started. So very often in business, we have to do things, or just life in general, we have to do things that we don't necessarily like. They're mundane tasks. We dread them, or we procrastinate about them. We put them off. We try our best to avoid them, but they're important. They need to be done. For instance, just this past couple weeks, I've had a to-do on my list, and it's easy. I know how to do it. It's sending emails to my clients about some time that I'm going to be taking off in June. And it's no big deal. I know how to do that. But for some reason, I just kept procrastinating. I should have done it a couple weeks ago, and it kept going day to day. Have you ever done that where the same thing keeps popping up on your to-do list, or you carry it over from day to day to day to day to day to day, and it just doesn't get done? Oh, and it's really not that difficult. It's really not that hard. Some things are actually really hard, right? That's kind of a different thing. I'm talking about those things that we just, I don't want to make that phone call, or I don't want to have that conversation, or we're just avoiding something, right? So I want to talk about some ways. What if the task was fun, or interesting, or curious, right? One of the things that I found that often helps, I want to talk about a couple different things that will help. But one of the things that I find really fundamental is that when I look at my relationship with the task, that's where something is wonky that I need to fix. So in this particular task of mine of sending my clients this email informing them that I was going to be away on vacation, like what's hard about that? Why was I procrastinating? I wasn't in a healthy relationship with it for some reason. But what I realized is that if I shift my relationship with that and realize and get more in touch in my heart that this is about being in service to my clients. It's not about me taking time off, although it is. If I don't make it about that, and I make it instead about my clients and making sure that they're fully supported so that I can really be in service even when I'm away, that changes things. And so I was able to get it right done. Each individual, a personalized email about my time off. So that felt really good, and now it's done. Woohoo! And now I get to take time off and know that my clients are prepared and cared for. Another way that maybe you could change your relationship with this, if you have any task that you're struggling with, is simply to think about what kind of good karma or good juju or good energy could happen as a result of this. Even if you don't know exactly what that would be, what if you could be in relationship with the possibilities that might open up as a result of doing this task? That could be a really healthy thing to do. Another thing you might want to try is looking at the process versus the outcome. Right? Sometimes we want to do a task because it's supposed to result in something specific, and we don't take action because we're worried that if we do take action, it won't get the result that we want. Generally, that's because we're attached to the outcome. What if you pulled back a little bit and focused on the process and enjoy the process as something that's healthy for your business? Maybe it's a task you're just not going to enjoy. What if you were able to be with the process as if doing the numbers or making that call was about nourishing and caring for your business? How lovely that can be if you put it in that kind of frame. Being in relationship with the process, not the outcome. Another thing that you could try is making it a game. And I sort of did this with my emails this morning when I was sending them out. I was kind of curious how fast I could get them done. I sent an individual email to every single client. How quickly could that happen? You know, sometimes we get tasks in our head. We get this mental image that a task is going to take so long. I've done this so many times. And when I actually do the task, it takes like that much time. It's so fast. And yet sometimes I've procrastinated for Months. For example, here's a really funny story. Actually, it's really kind of an embarrassing story. I can't believe I did this. My car died. And it was in the parking lot behind my condo here in Chicago. And this is when I first moved here. And winter was starting, and for some reason, it felt like a real burden. Like I thought something serious was wrong with my car, and I wasn't going to have the funds. Like I was making up all of this story about how horrible it was going to be, right? My car sat, and I live in Chicago, so the public transportation here is amazing. Like I've got two bus stops that can take me anywhere I want to go directly outside of my condo. The train is the L is right down the street from me, a few blocks. So super accessible. So it was really no big deal in the scheme of things. But 6 months, my car sat there. Now that's not even healthy for a car. You need to start your car. You need to drive your car to keep it working so things don't get old. I got spiders in my, during that period, I have spiders in my side mirrors now. They're still there. Years later, every summer when the weather starts to warm up, I have these huge spider webs that go from my side mirrors to my driver and passenger door, front doors. And so I'm constantly having to clean them out. And that's never happened to any car I've ever owned, but it happened because I let my car sit long enough that spiders built their home there. So it's kind of gross, and it makes me angry every time, reminds me of that situation. So I forget exactly why I brought that whole thing up, but I had made up this story that it was going to be a horrible experience, super expensive. Do you know what it was? It was my battery. And I happen to have AAA because I don't know anything about cars. And so I called AAA out, and they checked the battery, and he brought a new battery and replaced the battery. It took literally 30 minutes and cost me $100. Not even that. Easy. 6 months, right? So part of it is getting out of our heads and just taking action, just allowing an action to take place. And noticing when we're in our heads like that, can we just take action, right? So anyway, maybe you could be curious. Part of the game you could play is curious about what happens. One of the things, this is another thing that I employed while I was sending my emails today, is I was curious. I wonder how this will land with my client. I wonder if they'll be nourished by it. I wonder how this will hit their heart. I wonder if it will get them thinking about time that they take off and how they employ self-care in their own lives, right? So I got really curious, and that really helped. Sometimes if the tasks are things that you just really aren't going to like no matter what, and there are those tasks, we sometimes might need to externalize the reward system, if you will, so that we can feel better about it. Now, what does externalizing the reward system look like? One way to think about it is having a reward once it's completed. Something that feels like a celebration, a reward, maybe whatever your thing is. Maybe you go and get yourself a coffee, or you take the rest of the day off, or you give yourself a bonus if you're a business owner. If you're not a business owner, if you're an employee, you could go ask your boss, hey, give me an extra $200 because I finished a task I was supposed to do anyway. See how that works. You never know, I guess. I don't know. Maybe another external thing to help you get something done is to buddy up with someone else. Call up a buddy, a friend, or a coworker or something, someone else that you know, and say, hey, I've got this task that I want to do. I really don't want to do it. So when could we meet? Schedule a time together. Call the person when you're supposed to and say, all right, I'm going to get this done. Let them give you a little encouragement, a little rah, rah, rah. And during that time, that 30 minutes or that hour, you take action. And that person is either on video or on the phone, and they're there and they can cheer you on, or you can just hang up the phone and get the task done. And then at the end of the scheduled time, like 5 minutes before it ends, you call back and you say, I started it, or I got some done, or I got it all done. And you cheer and you celebrate, you acknowledge each other. That can be really fun. And that kind of holds you accountable to make sure that you take some action. And then something else that I've talked about, there's a little tool that's a countdown. And you get yourself ready to take action, especially if you're dreading it, or especially if there's fear. But you know you're going to be fine. You just have maybe an irrational fear going on in your mind. And you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go, and you take action. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bam, you take action. It kind of gets you out of the other part of your brain and into your prefrontal cortex so that you can take action, you can make a decision, you can make movement, right? So those are a bunch of different things that you can try so that if you have a task that you're procrastinating on, or you're dreading, or you've been putting off, that you can take some action. I hope that one of these helps you to get something done today or soon that you haven't gotten done lately. I would love to hear about that in the comments, and while you're down there, if you want to subscribe, please do so. Also, click that thumbs up button if this video was helpful to you. I appreciate it. It helps give me good feedback to keep the content coming. And most importantly, take good care of your heart. Always. Thanks for stopping by. Take care.